It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly update from the IHSAA Commissioner himself, Bobby Cox. Now for the inside scoop on what's happening day to day with the IHSAA. Here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Bobby Cox.
Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Bobby Cox. Bobby, it's fall. It feels like fall. It's football weather. And we want to talk about football in the IHSAA, obviously week number 9 of the regular season coming up. But unified football is something that you at the IHSAA, your staff, your member institutions, and more importantly, the student athletes around our state have embraced as a cause, and they have done a fantastic job. And it's going to be highlighted here coming up this week.
You're right, Bob. Our second annual Unified Flag Football State Championship will be held at Grand Park in the Event Center in Westfield, Indiana. High noon kickoff between McCutcheon and Mooresville, two schools that weren't even in our tournament last year and now will be contesting a state championship. It's part of the Special Olympics partnership that we have and of our Champions Together program that is really run by the students from the Student Advisory Committee and the partnership with Special Olympics Indiana. Our second championship, it's a wonderful program. We started last year with 24 schools. This year we had 37 schools in the tournament, and we know that it will continue to grow. And so we'll culminate the fall unified season with the championships at Grand Park at noon on Saturday.
You know, we've talked about this before in our conversations, and you know, it is, as you point out, a student-driven initiative. And I think you and the staff and everyone involved with the IHSA and the member institutions have to be overwhelmed at how the students around our state have not only embraced this, they have literally run with the ball, bad cliche notwithstanding, and it is an extremely important event for all of them.
It is, Bob. The reality is what we're trying to do is create a culture of inclusion and understanding. You know, students that attend our schools that have intellectual disabilities, they love their high schools just like regular education students. They just, before this time, have never had an opportunity to represent their school. Unified Sports and the program we do with Champions Together allows that representation to occur. And so what we have are students with and without intellectual disabilities participating together in Unified Flag Football, Unified Track and Field, which are sponsored by the IHSA, Unified Bowling, and Unified Bocce, which is sponsored by Special Olympics Indiana. Mm-hmm. Together we offer 4 sports where these young people can represent their high school and be a part of the mainstream. And I can't think of anything that's more important than including all students in the high school experience. And so we have been able to do that through these sports. It's very rewarding. It's the right thing to do, and we'll have a great championship on Saturday.
Bobby Cox joining us, talking about Unified Flag Football Championship coming up this weekend at Grand Park. McCutcheon and Mooresville playing for the championship. I have an occasion, as you do, certainly when I'm at basketball games in the winter, to be able to see some of these schools during their unified nights, and it's an overwhelming experience. It's so much fun, and it's great to be a part of, just as a spectator. But I can't imagine what it's like for the kids and the parents and everybody involved in it at their particular schools.
Well, all along the time that these students with intellectual disabilities have been in our schools, they've been told no, and now they're finally being told yes. And if you've lived that life where you're a parent of one of these children who have been told no their whole career, and now all of a sudden they're playing at halftime before 1,000 people in a gymnasium, and everybody's standing up and cheering, and these kids are out there making baskets and being a part of the festivities, I don't think any of us can really fully understand how important that is. And it's part of a bigger Champions Together program that we've been working with Special Olympics here over the past 7 years. This week I've had an opportunity to participate at a convocation at South Ripley High School, where they were recognized for being one of 14 schools statewide to receive the National Unified Champion School, a tall bar to reach 10 different pillars that the school had to meet to get this recognition. Today, the entire school student body was in the gymnasium to recognize these young people. They were the state unified bowling champions last season. I can't think of a better way to bring high school kids together and communities together than what happened today and what happened at South Ripley. And I just am honored to be a part of it, and it's very enjoyable and rewarding to watch it unfold.
He's the commissioner of the IHSAA, Bobby Cox. This is our weekly conversation about all things IHSAA. Great stuff, Commissioner. Congratulations. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Bob. You too.
You want to feel goosebumps? Then purchase a ticket to an athletic event at your local high school. You'll be making a lasting difference in your community. Buying a ticket to an IHSAA game or meet helps ensure your school has the funding it needs to operate. New uniforms, safer equipment, transportation. Your ticket purchase helps to pay for it all. You're also helping today's student athletes learn the life skills they need to get better jobs and become better leaders. Plus, you'll see them do some amazing things.
Whoa! Did you see that? Oh man, I think I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
High school sports. We pay, they play. Everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Listen up, high school sports fans. This cheer's for you.
You're number one. You're number one.
Why all the love? Why do we think you're number one?
Because as high school athletes, we know there is no us without you.
We know that when you buy a ticket to see an IHSAA game or meet, you're helping pay for new uniforms, safer equipment, or even a bus ride to the game.
But we also know what you're really saying is, I believe in you. I believe you could be somebody.
When you think about all of the opportunities your attendance at an IHSAA athletic event creates,
And the fact that you paid for your ticket,
well, fantastic doesn't begin to describe how we feel about you.
high school sports,
You pay,
we play.
everybody wins.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Welcome back to the cave this evening, everybody. We've been here a few times already today. We had 2 games this morning. The first game, LaPorte took on Plymouth, and LaPorte came out victorious in straight sets, 25-12, 25-17, and 25-13. Second game, a lot more exciting, right? Second game was 25-22 in favor of Michigan City, and then 25-16 for Mishawaka, 25-16 for Michigan City, 25-15 for Mishawaka, and then the final set, Michigan City ended up winning 15-11, and the Cavemen could not move on to the sectional championship, but we are still here for Michigan City versus LaPorte. I'm Matt Rendell. I teach radio and television here at Mishawaka High School. Right next to me is a junior here at MHS, Isaac Hayes. Isaac, what are we looking forward to here in our sectional championship game?
Oh, really? We're looking at 2 great teams who started out their journeys on Thursday. They didn't get the bye, so they've had to beat 2 teams to get here. And LaPorte's had more of an easy route, or at least made their route look more easy than Michigan City did. And I'm just looking forward to see how this game's going to turn out.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but both of these teams had to play on Thursday. Mm-hmm. You know, Mishawaka and Plymouth had byes, and then they didn't have to play on Thursday. You were here Thursday. You just talked a little bit about it. I think if most people paying attention would say LaPorte's probably the favorite, right?
Yeah. Oh, easily.
they really have looked really unstoppable.
Yeah.
While Michigan City's kind of clawed their way here, they've done a nice job, and it's great to be in the sectional championship. They got their work cut out for them, for sure.
Yeah, they do. And some key pieces for LaPorte. Number 2, Anaya Kennedy. She's just a sophomore, and she's all over the place for these LaPorte Slicers.
Well, they've kind of got it all, so they're going to be shaking hands here, and we're about ready to go here. So we're going to do this. We're going to get this going. This will be our last volleyball match of the season, Isaac, as we get ready and prepped for the end of fall sports season. Only one more sport left after this, which is football, and then we're heading into winter. We love winter sports season around here in Mishawaka. We'll be bringing you broadcasts of all sorts of sports, boys and girls basketball, wrestling, and we'll get you some coverage of swim meets too as best we can. That's a little bit harder, but we'll be there. So we're ready to go. Let's do it. They're making their IHSAA announcements, and then we'll get ready to go. LaPorte will be on the right side of your screen to start today. They will be wearing black with the orange lettering. It's kind of weird. They're both wearing dark colors. You would have thought one of them would wear white. Michigan City was wearing white earlier, so they changed to the blue. So on your right will be the LaPorte Slicers. On your left will be in blue with the gray letters, the Michigan City Wolves, and it is going to be a little bit challenging. I'm looking at the broadcast now to see. Even worse is both liberos are wearing gray.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a little bit hard, but we'll try to keep you updated. Again, on your left will be Michigan City. On the right will be LaPorte. It looks like LaPorte's going to be starting out serving as number 8. LaPorte, wrong team. Sorry, number 8, Paige Conklin. Looks like she's going to get back to serve. Oh, look at that. Right on time.
There we go.
Got mostly the same crew here running stuff for us as we're underway in this sectional final. Briggs gets it over. It'll be LaPorte's turn as this one goes over, and it is hit over. Good job by LaPorte. Michigan City gets it back. Warnock is there. You'll hear her name a lot here. A big-time hit there as it's hit over on the second. As they've really been setting up Alexa Joyner, this one is hit down, and you saw right there Anaya Kennedy. So LaPorte takes the 1-0 lead early. Michigan State's got to keep it close early and can't do that.
You know, that one just hit right into the net, and, well, doesn't even know about that.
Yeah, I mean, you put it in the net.
Yeah.
LaPorte doesn't have to work at all. It's 2-0 early. Dolezal does get that one over. It goes into the block, and they're going to set up Kennedy. Nope, they're going to send it along to Seymour, and that's down. Point number 3.
That ball came down hard, and it came down quick. As that's going to give LaPorte a 3-0 lead here in the beginning. Serve from LaPorte's good.
And there's another unforced error. So LaPorte already up 4-0 early, and it's not looking good for Michigan City. We talked about how difficult a task it was going to be for Michigan City to begin with. 2 hits into the net in 4 points is not going to be helpful for them either.
Correct.
And that was one of the best players earlier today for Michigan City. I think that was her. I can't see the numbers.
Yeah,
That's
it was
number
her.
1. Yeah, Reese Shirley, but she hit it too long. 5-0 in favor of LaPorte. And there's a bad hit as that is an ace for LaPorte. Make that 6-0. And Michigan City, I would guess Coach Kaufman's going to take a timeout here at some point because it is not going well. A 2-shot tip over as it gets to Joyner, still alive. So Michigan City's got a chance here. And that's going to be a lift. So double hit. Excuse me, not a lift. As that was another point, and it is 7-0, and we are really smoking here. Conklin has been on fire, just getting the ball over the net. And at this point, that's all they need to do. And that's up for Briggs, and she gets it into the block and down. Point, Michigan City.
And the Wolves finally get on the board.
So it is 7-1, and Michigan City will get the serve finally. As back to serve for the Wolves is number 3, Alexa Sparks, who had a really nice match earlier today against the Cavemen. This one's up to Joyner. Off the block, still alive, though. Great job by Conklin to keep that alive. There are no fans in the lower section as Briggs gets that over. So they have a little bit more space to work with underneath us. This is a good back and forth here. As that's going to be down. 2 straight points for Michigan City. As that one was tipped over by number 14, Amani Torrance Worlds. It's a long name.
And, Kennedy went up for that block, and really it went straight through her hands. So.
Well, and she went up thinking it was going to come across strong, and it came across fairly weak, and so that kind of, you're bracing yourself for something that didn't get there. It'll be LaPorte this time as Kennedy, even that tip over is going fast. And it'll be a chance here as they're going to throw it up short, and she almost just throws that thing over. But Michigan City does a good job keeping that alive. The 2-shot hit over. Still alive as Warnock gets to that one. It'll be Conklin back to Joyner. Joyner gets it, and it's out.
And Michigan City finds themselves down 4 here in the first set, 7-3.
It'll be Michigan City's serve again as Sparks will serve for the 3rd straight time, and that one's over. Warnock is there. And they're going to have to get it over as Kennedy does. Michigan City's got a chance. They went down 7-0, but they're making a way back. A great play by Joyner. That's good reaction as they get it over. And Briggs tips it, and then it hits right back at her. As Joyner just saw that tip coming and just knocked it right back at her, and nothing to do there.
And that's going to increase the Slicers' lead to 5 here.
Yeah, it was a nice little run there, and those are the things you need to kind of get you going. But going down 7, a great job there to get that over, as that didn't look like it had any chance. And here's Kennedy with the big hit.
And Kennedy, when she's up front and they set her up, she's lethal.
Yeah, it is so difficult for them to do anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is again. And that one was even more that ball's coming over, and she saw it from a mile away. She came up there, hit that, and now LaPorte up 10-3 very early in this set. Serve is up and over. Good hit by Shirley, but that's out, and they're going to say it was tipped.
I thought I saw the tip that time, so.
We got a couple subs coming in as Michigan City will get the serve back. Into serve. Looks like number 2. That is Sella Van Buskirk. She'll come up and gets it over. Conklin puts it up for Joyner. Joyner quietly really had a good game this morning, and she's been great here so far. And that's a big-time hit by Shirley there. She gets that over, and that'll make it 10-5.
And we saw that a lot when Michigan City played Mishawaka earlier today. When they set up Shirley, she threw that ball down with authority.
Well, it took her a while to get going, as that one was way long past the caveman there on the court. But Shirley, but in those last 2 sets where they really needed her to come up big, she did. And so we'll see how they can do against a very good LaPorte team as that serve is over from Volker. And that's out of bounds from Shirley again. 12-5 as LaPorte is in complete control here tonight. We were hoping to have Mishawaka here, and they fell in a real nail biter. 5 sets, and they went down to the wire earlier, but they could not pull it out. So congratulations to Michigan City, but they're in for a tough test as Dolezal gets that one over for a point off of a block as they trail by 6. Into serve is number 15. Well, they got to sub it. See if they do that kind of rotation sub again. They didn't this time. Into serve number 15, Alyssa Shia. Now she'll take her walk up and hit it over. And Warnock gets it, and that's in. What a great shot, as that was right in front of the official there, and she saw it hit. A great shot. That was so close, but she got it in. As we've got a number of subs, but the main one is LaPorte number 11, Hallie Seaberg, into serve.
And the Michigan City sideline did not agree with that call.
They did not, and they were right there too, but you're blocked also by the official, so not a great first hit, but they're going to get it over just barely. And this will be up for Warnock, who tips it, and that's going to be a point for LaPorte. So LaPorte in control, up 8, as it'll be against Seaburg, back to serve. She'll put it up and into the net. I almost said it before it got there, but I'm like, if that thing goes over, I'm going to be mad at myself. But it does go into the net, doesn't make it over. 14-7. We'll see what Michigan City's got here. As Conklin comes in, big time hit there as it goes off of the net and kind of spun its way all the way to the sideline, but stayed in bounds somehow as Seymour comes in for LaPorte, and back to serve again is Warnock.
That's really something we haven't seen at all. The ball rolling across the top of the net and staying in.
Yeah, and somehow that stayed in. I have no idea how. As that's long and out of bounds. So Warnock serve doesn't stay in, as it'll be 15-8. Still a good lead here for the Slicers as the Wolves are trying to make a comeback. And Dolezal was a big part of their win today as she's back to serve for Michigan City. Warnock dives for that one and just gets it. And it gets to Seymour, and that's in. A great play there by Seymour as she got it in.
That big three for LaPorte, Seymour, Kennedy, and Warnock, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I would go with 4. I think Joyner's been one of their best players, just hitting everything over. As that'll be... There it is again. She sees it coming. That's what's also special as a sophomore. Not just that she can keep it, get it over so quickly and at such force, but also that she sees the game so well as such a young player. She doesn't look young. She looks very tall and athletic, but she is just, she's all over the place when she's in the game. And that is over and right into space as nobody was there, as that'll drop for a Michigan City point.
And you saw LaPorte right after that. They just laughed at it.
That they knew it was coming and they just didn't see it, as it just fell right in between everybody. And that happens. You see it in volleyball a lot, especially with when it's tipped over like that. Seaburg will put this one back up for Conklin, and that's off the block and down. Point LaPorte, as LaPorte now leads 18-9. Joyner's back in, Seaburg out, Conklin back to serve. Conklin was the server getting the LaPorte out to that 7-0 lead, as she'll get it over again. And I think the Cavemen really missed some of the serving today from Autumn Dill, who was out with an injury.
Yeah.
So the service is obviously important for all teams, as Joyner gets that right into Michigan City player, and that's out of bounds. Point, Slicers. And there's a timeout. That timeout is taken by Michigan City, as we will take a short break here and see if we can get something working here for you guys. We're back here in action as Michigan City comes out of that timeout and gets a big-time point, as they're able to knock that one down for a point. 19-10 there. We're trying to get some replays there for you. We did show them. There was no audio, but we didn't know that at the time. So just so you can see some of those highlights. It'll be Conklin putting this one up for Joyner. She gets it right into space. A great dig there. Can they get it over? They do.
Dude,
what a play there. Yeah.
Wow.
And just as quickly, though, Kennedy almost had another point, as that is tipped right over by Shirley. And Joyner again into the block. Dolezal's there. And this will be over by Worlds. Good job by Michigan City. Volker's got to get it over, and a bad hit there by Volker.
It looked like she hit that one off the heel of her hand.
Well, and whenever that happens with Mishawaka, I always look over to Coach Anderson because I'm always interested in his reaction. But I look over to the LaPorte side. I'm still amazed that there's only 2 coaches over there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Michigan City. They've got 4. As Dolezal saves that one, Joyner, and what a great play by Briggs. And, Michigan City has been great on that. And that one gets down. Wow. The hit hits the net. That one was by number 11, Rue, and that hit the net and went over. And they're smiling. You got to have some fun. This isn't going too well for you. But you're only down 7 to one of the best teams you'll see all season. Volker dives for that one. Set up for Seymour. Big hit. Still alive. They got to get it over.
They're going to call a lift on the Wolves.
I was like, no, they did a good job. But they do call a lift. Good catch there. As it'll be back to serve Seymour. 20-12 is the lead for LaPorte as they are getting closer and closer to a first set victory as that is down but out of bounds. Oh. The announcer just said point Michigan City, and that was untrue. As it'll be Seymour back to serve. That is up and over. Good job by Dolezal. Can they get it over? Surely does. Good job by Seymour. And that'll be Warnock definitely in this time. Yeah, Warnock, Seymour, they're all just really so special for this LaPorte team. They're going to be a tough play for anybody. I think they lost 4 or 5 times on the season. As that's a beautiful block by Kennedy. Just an absolutely amazing block as that one comes flying in. And actually, Briggs had a good look at that, but it just wasn't meant to be as Kennedy went up so low on that block and just nailed that one right back down at her. Worlds gets it over, and it's down. Point, LaPorte.
And this is going to be set point here for the Slicers.
Seymour back to serve. They've doubled up the Wolves so far. Great save by Conklin. Briggs hit it over, and that will not be enough for LaPorte as they will not win the set on that one, as they will have an 11-point lead here as there's a substitution. In for LaPorte is number 7, Leslie Marshall, who played a little bit earlier today. I was telling you, Isaac, during warm-up, some of these players that aren't playing for LaPorte are excellent volleyball players.
Yeah. But when you have that team full of, senior superstars,
right,
so to speak, you got to let them play and keep your lower classmen out of the game.
It'll be Conklin putting this one up for Warnock, and there it is. Is it in? Yes, it's on the line, and that'll be a point for the Slicers, and that will end the first set in favor of LaPorte as LaPorte wins 25-13 in set number 1. Almost exactly how they won the first set earlier today, 25-12 against Plymouth. We're going to take a short break here in just a second as we've got 3 minutes between sets. They'll be switching sides, so LaPorte will be on your left side of the screen. On your right side, you will see Michigan City. But Michigan City's got a lot of work to do here in order to come up with the victory. We'll be right back.
You want to feel goosebumps?
If you bought a ticket to an IHSAA athletic event last weekend, give yourself a giant pat on the back.
You helped ensure our school has the resources it needs to support our athletic program.
You might have even punched somebody's ticket to a better life.
Yeah, like mine.
So give yourself a big high five.
Yeah!
And thank you.
High school sports.
You pay.
We play.
Everybody wins.
That's right.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA. What's included in the price of a ticket to attend an IHSAA athletic event?
Harris cuts left, darts right, and goes straight to college!
High school sports teach life skills that go beyond the field of play. Skills that pave the way to a better education and a more fulfilling career. It's all included in the price of admission when you attend a high school athletic event. All you have to do is buy a ticket.
I can do that.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA. What's included in the price of a ticket when you attend a high school athletic event? For starters, greater opportunities for our kids.
And here comes Lopez. He dribbles, fakes, shoots, and scores! A high-paying job!
Putting today's young people on the pathway to success. Inspiring them to never give up. Encouraging them to always do their best. Teaching them how to be better leaders. It's all included in the price of admission when you go to an IHSAA athletic event. All you have to do is buy a ticket.
I can do that.
High school sports. We pay, they play, everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Oh, my goodness!
We are back here. You just heard some of those commercials from the IHSAA. They're very gracious, letting us, as an educational station with all these students working, do the broadcasts on the IHSAA sectionals for volleyball, and also we'll be doing the first and hopefully second game of the football sectionals as the Cavemen take on Elkhart Memorial in the first game here at Steele Stadium. But you saw some replays there. We're getting better at stuff. We're getting there.
right.
As the the Wolves serve there, and right off the bat, LaPorte gets it back over, and Shirley will hit that one. And Shirley's had that problem here. She's kind of over aggressive and just hitting that thing a little too far, and trying to get it over that block. As Joyner comes in, Seaberg will go out, and back to serve is Conklin. Serve is over, and it's a good one. And that's tipped, but they're ready for it. Conklin puts it up for Seymour. Seymour over the block, and right there is Dolezal. It'll be World. She gets it over. Seymour's up. And this will be Kennedy right off the block, and that's a good block, though, as that'll be hit backward, and Shirley blocked right back in her face by Seymour. You have a nice section of fans here from LaPorte straight across from us. And then below us, you'll have the Michigan City fans to the left. As this will be set up across, and that's going to be a double hit there. You got to get both those hands on the ball at the same time. And just like the first set, Conklin serving for LaPorte, and LaPorte's already out to a 3-0 lead. This will be Worlds hitting it over, and that's down. So they didn't get to that 7-0 lead, but they're in good shape. As it coming in to serve for Michigan City will be number 2, Selah Van Busker.
You know, that's really what she's used for, is that serving specialist position for the Wolves.
And we've seen it here at the Cavemen. The last 2 years, they've had somebody that played that role. Seymour just has to dive to get that over. Sparks gets it over Dolezal, and that's hit into the net and not over. That'll be 4 hits, points, Slicers. Just getting back to Mishawaka a little bit, they couldn't pull out the win today, but really they're not losing that many players from a team that got a little better this year than you thought they would have been. They're only losing really 2, maybe 3 key players. Bailey Reeser didn't play a lot this year because of injuries and stuff, but they're losing a couple big players. There's a big-time hit there from Shirley, gets Michigan City the point. But to finish that up, the Cavemen are really returning everybody except for Jordan Holland, which is a big loss, and Mackenzie Thornton's a loss too. But they're returning a lot of good players, and some of those young players are coming up in the ranks. They had some freshmen dressing varsity. They didn't play a lot, but you have some of those kids coming up. So a nice system hopefully they can play this year, as the ace is in there for Michigan City, making it 4-3 as number 15, Alyssa Shia, gets the ace. So 4-3, Michigan City sticking around in the second set. That one's up and over. That's set across, and this one's Warnock, and big hit. And Warnock, it's almost like she guides that thing right where she wants it. She gets that in that far corner so well that it's really hard to stop that.
Yeah.
As this is that substitution I was talking about. Briggs subs in for Shia, and then Briggs right away rotates out for the libero. So big time, a weird kind of substitution pattern there, but Dolezal gets it across. Seymour sets it up. It'll be Conklin. Back to Joyner, and there's Joyner getting it off the block and actually even stayed in bounds.
Yeah.
And so another point for the LaPorte Slicers. Back to serve again for the Slicers will be number 9, Volker, the libero. Both teams, again, wearing similar colors. I don't know why we're letting that happen. But that becomes hard. It's not too bad for us as that ball sails out of bounds, point Wolves. But it's a little bit harder for you guys to tell on the stream. But in the blue on your right side is Michigan City, and the black on the left side is LaPorte. This will be Shirley. He doesn't take a big wind-up on that serve, as it'll be Warnock just getting it over. And she puts it, again, right into that space where nobody was, but they did get to it. Conklin runs up on that one, and this is set up for Warnock as she puts it down. And I'm telling you, she's got a way about getting that into the space she wants.
The ball placement from Warnock is absolutely outstanding. And it's not even just the ball placement from Warnock. It's the power from which she hits the ball, too.
Seberg will come in to serve for the Slicers as she will wind up here. She gets it over, and that's an ace. A big play there by Seberg as she gets the ace. 8-4 in favor of LaPorte, and this is where you start to have problems if you're Michigan City. Plymouth saw it earlier. They stayed with it for a little bit, and then it just started to get away from them. A good hit by Sparks as Volker gets to that. And this will be Conklin. What a hit. Stays in bounds.
Goodness.
And I'm telling you, they don't hit a lot out. They're really keeping those things with high velocity, a great rate of speed, and still gets them into good positions.
What a block there by
block.
Warnock.
There's Warnock, and there was another player in that block. Number 5, Justine Talbert was in that block. As it'll be Seberg back to serve again for the Slicers. And right there is Warnock. And that first hit was not a good one as Warnock got right to it.
And coming in for the Slicers will be number 3, Leanne Hill, who I don't think we've seen tonight.
And that is in again. And I didn't know that looked close, but both officials pointed in, and so, and that was right in front of Coach Kaufman for the Wolves, and so it's a tough break though. But it is. I didn't even realize, but it's out to 12-4 now.
Yeah.
Just a second ago, it was 8-4 as the second hit goes over by Shirley, and this will be Conklin off the net, still in play. Somebody's got to get to it, and they do. I thought that was going to fall. But now you've got a bad setup here as it's going to be set up for Warnock, and she gets it into the net and doesn't get it over as they're going to say it was blocked. This will be Conklin into the block off the net, still alive. Michigan City's kind of their best volley in a while, but it's too bad because LaPorte just keeps getting chances as Talbert gets that. Dolezal gets it over. This one's across to Warnock. Big hit off the block out of bounds.
That was a really nice volley from both teams.
Yeah, and Warnock just has something, man. Like, there's something there as it'll be Seberg back. Yeah, Seberg back to serve. Seberg gets it over. Not a great first hit, but Michigan City's got a chance. The Sparks gets it in the block, inbounds. That's always the problem with those blocks. Is are you gonna keep it inbounds? Because sometimes those go out. And with that, that's going to lead to our first timeout of set number 2 as Michigan City takes a timeout. We'll take a look here at a couple of these highlights from a little bit ago, but the Slicers are in complete control right now, Isaac, as we're looking at some of these highlights here. As you see one right there where they just hit it right back over that bad first hit from Michigan City. But, I mean, everything's working for the Slicers.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. And you kind of expected that coming into the sectionals. If you look through the teams, you knew there was a couple that were decent. Mishawaka had an okay year. Michigan City had an okay year. And then after that, Plymouth had a pretty good year, but LaPorte has just had an amazing year. And you can look at the record and the teams they played, and even the teams they lost to are some of the best in the state, as that's an ace.
And just like that, LaPorte's out to an 11-point lead here in the second set.
Seaberg got that thing over, and a really great hit, as it'll be Seaberg again to serve. And you don't see a lot of like the chants and the cheers and all of that from LaPorte either. I mean, they're just out here trying to win. As this is one of the people we talked about earlier who I didn't see a lot of, which was number 13, Legacy Thomas, who had that hit. She's a sophomore, but we didn't see a lot of her earlier today. But maybe getting in here. Also in is number 3, Leanne Hill, again a sophomore. So this team is really set up. I didn't notice this though right now. They only got 3 seniors on their roster.
They do?
For LaPorte. And again, some of these players we didn't see. Leanne Hill, gets that big time hit right into space. But the seniors on this team are looks like it is number 1, Annalise Warnock, who we've talked about a lot, Alexia Joyner, who's also been very good, and Cheyenne Seymour. So you're losing a lot there, but you've got a lot still there. I mean, if those are your only 3 you're using, you've got a lot of people that still make up, a good amount of this team. So Worlds gets it over, and it's in. So they're going to say it was tipped regardless. So if it would have gone out, it would have been a point for Michigan City. But a 16-6 lead, this gives, LaPorte and Coach Holmquist here some options to bring in some of these players that don't get a lot of playing time in a big-time game. This isn't, playing a regular season game on a Tuesday night. This is sectional finals, as that's hit out of bounds, and obviously playing in one of the most iconic places in the state of Indiana at the Cave here in Mishawaka. So we got some substitutions here as Hill and Volker go out.
But arguably one of the best players on this LaPorte roster, Kennedy's going to check back in.
Yeah, right. Talbert's back to serve for the Slicers. That one's up and over. Michigan City will have a chance here, and that's hit over. At least it wasn't blocked. I mean, that was not going to... And that Thomas hits that one, but doesn't get down, as this will be Seymour hitting it over. And then it's still alive, as now we'll set it up for Thomas again. That one's in, but it's going to be played by Michigan City. That's blocked. Good job by Thomas, getting the block and the save, as Seymour tips it over and in. What a great play.
What an amazing play there. And you know what, Mr. Rendell, I think that one might be the highlight of the night.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, the fact that she got up so high to hit that, I mean, it was going to go over the net, but she got it before it went over to really mess up whatever Michigan City was about to do. As that serve by Talbert is good. And that's blocked. Briggs is really the strong hitter here for Michigan City, but she doesn't have the height that these LaPorte players have. So when she comes in strong at those things, she hits it in that block. It comes right back at him. 19-6 is the lead for the Slicers. And that's going to fall. Point for the LaPorte. 20-6 as this is going by fast.
Yeah, and honestly, we kind of expected this coming into this game. LaPorte was going to show up and show out.
Yeah. And they're comfortably ahead, obviously up 14 here in the second set, but they won the first set pretty easily. And what a shot there as Sparks kind of gets creative there as she went up and said, okay, second shot, I'm going to put this over into space, and was able to get it into an open space and get a point for the Michigan City Wolves. That hit is over by Sparks on the serve. And here comes Thomas off the block, still in play, as they're going to call a net infraction there on Michigan City.
And just like that, the Slicers are up 14, and they're 4 points away from going up 2-0 on this Michigan City team.
That one's hit way out of bounds. Almost got to the bench before it got to the court. And so 22-7, only a few points from set number 2 being over. And then we're getting closer and closer to our volleyball season being over for 2019. A good hit there by Shirley is off of Conklin and out of bounds.
You know, Mr. Reynolds, you speak of our volleyball season coming to a close here. You know, I'm just excited to be back next for it.
That's true. You're only a junior. Actually, I'm looking around here. I don't think there's any seniors. Oh, Hannah's a senior. Nathan's a senior. Declan will be back with us. Joe is only a freshman, so that's fun. Tony is Tony a sophomore?
I think so. Don't quote me.
He's definitely not a senior, though. A good tip by Dolezal, but even better by Kennedy as they'll set this one up for Joyner, and that's going to not fall, but it's going to be hit out of bounds as we will go to 23-8. Back to serve for the first time today was number 12, Macy Merzinski. I think I got that right.
And they're going to say that one was tipped.
So that's going to be
a point.
So Merzinski comes in for the serve, and I think that's the first time now because I don't remember saying that name earlier. But we're going to have Shia back to serve for Michigan City, down 23-9. It's getting close to end of set number 2. As that is over, Warnock is there. Not a great hit by Warnock, but a great job by Conklin to save it, and Warnock gets it over. A big block by Warnock there, as Joyner was there also. As Joyner will get this one, and it's still in, but to the bench and out of bounds.
And just like that, we're going to have set point for the LaPorte Slicers.
It's 24-9 as Volker will go back to serve. We got this weird substitution here again. I'm going to have to ask somebody about that because I've never seen anything like that. And not like I've been around volleyball, you know. As Shirley gets that over, it'll be Joyner with a hit, still in play. Michigan City really hasn't hurt themselves very much. They've still played pretty well. There's just a really good team on the other end. I mean, you see even that, like, you're really going all out as that'll end set number 2. With the final score of 25-9 in favor of the LaPorte Slicers. That makes it 2-0 in favor of LaPorte as we head to the third set, which could be the final set the way LaPorte's playing here tonight. We're going to take a quick break here and come back with the third set in just a minute.
You want to feel goosebumps? Then purchase a ticket to an athletic event at your local high school. You'll be making a lasting difference in your community. Buying a ticket to an IHSAA game or meet helps ensure your school has the funding it needs to operate. New uniforms, safer equipment, transportation. Your ticket purchase helps to pay for it all. You're also helping today's student athletes learn the life skills they need to get better jobs and become better leaders. Plus, you'll see them do some amazing things.
Whoa! Did you see that? Oh, man, I think I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
High school sports. We pay, they play. Everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Listen up, high school sports fans. This cheer's for you.
You're number one! You're number one!
Why all the love? Why do we think you're number one?
Because as high school athletes, we know there is no us without you.
We know that when you buy a ticket to see an IHSAA game or meet, you're helping pay for new uniforms, safer equipment, or even a bus ride to the game.
But we also know what you're really saying is, I believe in you. I believe you could be somebody.
When you think about all of the opportunities your attendance at an IHSAA athletic event creates,
and the fact that you paid for your ticket,
well, fantastic doesn't begin to describe how we feel about you.
High school sports.
You pay,
we play.
Everybody wins.
This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
We're back here. Let's go quickly through. We got 25 seconds for the start of our third set here, but we've got Hannah Ryback here. Wasn't here this morning. Here tonight. She's on our one camera right below us, Tony Parks. We've got Declan, Quintanilla, Nate, Hildebridal here on the TriCaster doing graphics, switching camera angles. We got Joe listening in, making sure we're getting everything set up. He's checking to make sure we're playing audio, that we're getting good sound. And then, of course, here we've got Isaac Hayes, and I'm Matt Rendell for the Mishawaka Network, bringing you sectional final volleyball here from the Cave, as this will be our last volleyball match of the season. And volleyball is maybe not our best thing. I'll put it that way. We're getting better. We've done a lot of games. The more you do something, obviously, the better you get at it. But when we get into basketball season, that's where we'll pick up the pace a little bit. And we're getting better at wrestling, too.
Right.
We've lost our 2 main wrestling broadcasts from last year, including Evan Bordner, who did it with me 2 years ago. But I've learned wrestling pretty well. Wrestling's not too hard.
And I'm just going to have to learn it.
We're going to learn it, yeah. But we got a lot of people who are just working behind the scenes to make the things look the way they do for you guys. So thanks to those students for coming out and being a part of it. As just as last set, I talked about them not making those errors right there. Michigan City had a really pretty good first hit off the serve from Conklin, but then everybody watched it fall to the ground. And that's just a lucky serve there as Conklin hits it right into the net as it goes over, as Conklin goes double ace to start set number 3. And, I mean, LaPorte just gets out to these leads, and it's so hard to get back from those.
Right.
As finally, Michigan City gets it over here in set number 3, as this will be Kennedy, big hit. What's amazing, Kennedy can go right over that block.
Right.
I think the ball went right over the block. I mean, she gets up there so high, she gets it before it's coming down, and that's going to be point number 3 for LaPorte.
I mean, Kennedy, she's tall, she's long, and then her vertical is just absolutely insane.
And again, as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And there's a lucky or whatever, it got down, and that'll be a point for Michigan City as it got into 2 players there right at the net. I think it was Seymour and then one of the players from Michigan City, as Sparks will go back to serve. Into the block, and Dolezal saves it, and for the second time this set, Michigan City players watched it fall to the ground, as Dolezal had a really nice hit on that, just to stick her arm out there, and that's good reaction, as it'll now be a serve by Seymour. Seymour will put that up and over. And it's still alive. And Warnock tried to tip in. She's had some success doing that this year. Or, excuse me, this year. She's had some success today doing that, but she couldn't quite get it over the net, as it's 4-2 in favor of LaPorte. Michigan City serve, as it is number 2. Selah Van Buskirk again back to serve. She'll put it up. And it's over. Volker. Conklin. Joyner down.
And LaPorte coming out of the break, they're carrying their momentum with them.
Of course, right? Yeah. And again, it was Joyner. You got the front line, Joyner and Warnock up there just having a big day, really.
Right.
As they are looking to move on to regionals, as that ball's hit out of bounds. And again, some of those things are intimidation right there.
Yeah.
You saw her come up on that, hit that one, trying to avoid the block, but then it's like you avoid the block, but then it's out of bounds. Back to serve is Volker. She's kind of serving from an out-of-bounds area over there almost. Dolezal with a great tip. Dolezal, a couple of these players from Michigan City, really impressive today with what they were able to do. Dolezal, Sparks has had a really good day. So it doesn't look like they'll come out on top, but they got to feel good about getting to this point. Playing the 2 games to get here, playing Mishawaka, who beat them earlier this year, really tough to win and to get here. So good job by them today, as it'll be, looks like that was number 5, Justine Talbert with the hit into the block, as it'll be Seabird coming in for Joyner, it looks like.
And the weird substitution happens again.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
Either.
Like, we gotta ask
really
Coach Anderson or somebody. Julie Facette might be a good one to ask to figure out how that actually works. As that's hit inbound by Shirley, a great hit by Shirley, as that'll be a point for Michigan City. Still down 3, but only down 3.
Right.
How about that? You just lost the last set by 16. So if you can keep it together here for a little bit, get some lucky breaks your way as Seberg puts that up for Conklin into the block, still alive. And this will be Warnock into the net, but still alive. You can hit that hard into the net, you never know where that's going to go. As Dolezal tips it, good job by all around there. As Warnock hits it right into Dolezal, and Dolezal can't get her hands up fast enough, as that'll be a point for the Slicers. Seymour in the game. Also coming in the game is number 6 to serve for LaPorte. That is Kaylee Dove at the very top. That's a freshman.
Yeah. I don't think we've called her name yet today.
I think she's coming to serve, but that's it. But even then, it's like you have freshmen coming in. It's again a young team. You think that this team is very good. You might think they're experienced and older, but they are not. As Conklin comes in a little bit too hard there as it goes out of bounds, as it'll be Thomas coming in the game for Conklin. Here's Dolezal with the serve. It's up and over. Volker does a good job of getting down for that one. It'll be Seymour, and that's big hit. Point Slicers.
She hit that ball hard.
And there was no reaction time fast enough for that.
No.
Back to service Talbert for the Slicers. As it'll be up and over. Kind of weird back set there. She kind of jumped strangely. As it'll be Kennedy hitting that one. Didn't get a full good hit on that, as that's going to be over the net. Actually, technically under the net. They almost saved that still.
Mm-hmm.
As it will be LaPorte serve up 5. Talbert puts it over. Dolezal hit that. That looked like it was going out, but it was played. So Thomas, the big hit, and out. Close enough. They're going to... LaPorte is... the players are arguing for a tip. One thing you haven't seen from LaPorte, and obviously maybe it's because they're winning by so many, is the coaches aren't really getting into it with officials or, doing any of that. They're just telling... You saw Coach Holmquist there just saying, hey, come on, we got the next point. We're ready to go. And obviously winning makes that a little bit easier. As LaPorte will set that up, and that'll be Kennedy. Big hit right into one of the Michigan City players, but they couldn't see it as it goes over their head and out of bounds. Point Slicers. Couple subs as Conklin and Joyner will come back in. And who's serving is the question. It is Conklin going back to serve, who's been great on the serve so far today. He'll put it up. An awkward hit there. She was leaning back as Conklin sets that up for Joyner. And it is still alive. Good job by Volker, kind of contorting her body a little bit as Kennedy tips that over. A great play. What a play by Shirley as she saw everybody for LaPorte moving up to the net and just hit it where nobody was, which is that back corner.
That's just excellent ball placement there.
And here's Sparks again. She gets it over. Conklin will set that back to Seymour. What a hit. Sparks got to it, but it's going to fly. It did get over the net, too, but it goes out of bounds. As coming in the game for LaPorte, as Seymour goes out, is number 12 to serve, which is Macy Morzinski, and back in is Warnock. Serve is up and over. Good set. A nice tip. Warnock tips that just as Kennedy was about to get to it as Volker hits it across. Tipped across. Oh, what a play. What a great play by Shirley. That's 2 now just in a row that she's hit into kind of open spaces as Michigan City scores another point. Only down 4 right now, 12-8 as LaPorte still leads. Serve from the Wolves is up and into the net. Point Slicers. Volker back to serve. 13-8 is the score. That is up and over. Shirley with a good hit. And that's hit into the block and kind of off the net. And Warnock was ready for it, but it hit the net as she just couldn't quite get to that. Shia back to serve for Michigan City, down 4. Michigan City doesn't come back to win this. It will be the last set of this sectional. What a tip. Conklin tipped that right into that open space, and I don't, even if a player from Michigan City would have reacted, I don't know if they would have got there. She tipped it so well into that space that it didn't like go high, you know, it wasn't high enough for somebody to get to it. So it'll be Seaberg to serve for the Slicers. She gets it over. Great tip there, but right to where Paige Conklin was. And here comes Warnock, and she almost looked away as she hit that, as she couldn't quite get it over the net. As it goes into the net and down, 14-10, Slicers lead. Thomas is in. So you got, again, a couple players we haven't seen a lot of today in Thomas, as that's in. Ace for, I think that was Shirley serving. Shirley's had a really nice set. I mean, she's been pretty good so far today, but this set has been really a good one for her. As Seaberg will set this up for Warnock. Warnock comes in, and that's out of bounds. So now it's 14-12, and it's starting to get a little interesting.
It is. And, you know, we're seeing a little bit of life here from the Wolves.
Yeah. And a lot of that's come from Shirley. A couple really well-placed hits, some good serves. As nobody's going to get to that, and that's another point. As it is 14-13, and Shirley's still serving.
The Wolves here with a chance to tie it, the third set.
As Volker gets to that, Seaberg up to Warnock. Warnock down, still in play. Good job by Sparks. This will go over to Dolezal. Still in as Warnock hits it. Nobody gets to it.
And just like that, this third set's
all
all tied up.
So coming in the game is number 5, Justine Talbert. As out goes number 3, Leanne Hill. So you're going to see some of the regular players coming back in as this gets close. As that is hit, and just as Talbert comes in, she makes that play, and here they come. As number 10, Seymour is going to come back in the game. Also coming in to serve is number 6, Kayla Dove. Again, that's the only freshman on this team. Actually, the only freshman for either team that's played here in this game. Might be the only freshman we've seen all day.
Maybe.
That serve is over and good. Good hit, but too far. Nope, it stays in as Seaberg saw it go over her head. Not in great position there as we're tied at 15.
And the Wolves are alive here in the third set.
If it gets down to it, you'll see some of these. Right now, you've got probably the 3 best players for the Slicers on the bench. They get it over. Nope, they're going to call a lift there. As Michigan City leads 16-15. But you see at the end of the bench here, you got Warnock, Joyner, Kennedy, and Conklin there too. So probably 4 of the best players for the Slicers not in right now. As Seymour hits that over, but it's blocked, and that's going to be 4 hits. 17-15, Wolves lead.
And, you know, really, I think what they're doing, they're just getting these young players some playing time.
Well, and to put them in a difficult situation. You were up, and now you're down by 2.
You know, it's a nice coaching moment.
Yeah. Seymour into the net, but they're going to say it was blocked. That's set up. It'll be Seymour. And that's out of bounds. Point. And there comes a timeout. So it is 18-15 as Michigan City has come back to take a 3-point lead here in set number 3. We'll see what Coach Holmquist does here in this timeout, because you'll wonder if she wants to get those good players back in, just try to end this. You don't really want it to go on any longer than you need to. And I get playing some of those younger players or players that haven't played very much, but at some point you really want to get into winning. So the team that's out there is going to stay out there for now, but if they can get the serve back, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these people come back in, especially those people I just talked about at the end of bench, Conklin, Kennedy, Joyner, Warnock. So we're going to come out of this timeout here with Michigan City serve. Dolezal, and you got to be, you're at Michigan City, whether the A team, let's say, is out there or not, you've made the plays, right? So you're making the plays, you're getting your team back into it as Dolezal puts that over. Volker make a bad hit, and there's another point for the Wolves.
And you know, if Michigan City ends up winning the set, this is going to be the first set that LaPorte's lost throughout this entire tournament.
And they've had to play all the way through it. They played the first round, they played the second round this morning, and now they're here tonight in the finals. Seberg puts it up, Seymour gets it over, and Michigan City does a good job of scrambling through those as it'll be put up here into the net and down, point. And here they come. It's going to start with Conklin. She's going to come in first, as she's going to come in for Thomas. As Conklin's back in the game, and Conklin kind of is their kind of do-it-all player. She gets some nice hits at the net. She's good at setting. She's a good server. And there she is setting up Seymour, and that's over and down. And then right away, and like we said, coming back into the game for LaPorte is going to be number 2, Kennedy, as Volker goes out. And so now at the front, you've got Conklin, Seymour, Kennedy, and then back to serve is number 5, Talbert. It is up and over. See what Michigan City do if they can hold this lead, as that's off the roof but still in because it stayed on their side. And Kennedy, big hit down.
And just like that, the key players check back in, and LaPorte starts scoring
couple points, yeah. So they're still down 3. They really don't have a lot of time to make up those points, but you'll see Talbert serve again. Good serve by Talbert. Great job by Conklin reacting as Kennedy just hits that right back over. And it's a diving save, but not going to be enough, as Volker is going to come back in. It looks like Talbert's going to come out. 21-17, Michigan City leads this third set, as it'll be a serve. It's up and over. Seymour gets it up. The set for Kennedy as she tips it across. A strong tip. Great block there at the net, as they're going to set up Kennedy. Nope, Seymour's got to hit it over, and she just barely gets that over. Kennedy is there. Seberg puts it up for Kennedy. Big hit. And that's one of those, again, if you don't have the block there, it looked like somebody was ready for that. 21-18 in favor of the Wolves, as this is a close one here in set number 3. Conklin with a good serve. Sparks puts it all the way up across. A great setup there by Sparks, as it'll be Conklin setting up for Kennedy. Big hit done.
You know, it's just as simple as you said it, you know, for LaPorte. Set it up, hit it down, next serve.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing. They're saying, okay, let's get this over with. They're just still down 2, though, so they can't make mistakes. They've got to have some good hits, as Volker saves that one.
But they do have that 2-set lead still.
That's true. Seymour gets that one up, but still alive. Kennedy got it, though.
You know, that vertical's really been helpful for her.
In that second hit, just barely making it over the net, Kennedy's right there. So 21-20, as it's going to be a timeout by Michigan City. They just want to win one. You know, it doesn't matter who you're facing against on LaPorte's team. LaPorte's got a good team top to bottom. So Michigan City's fought hard in this third set, but right now it looks like Coach Holmquist is saying, let's get this over with.
As they just take 20 seconds out of that timeout.
They barely took any time as they're ready. As you'll have that same lineup, Conklin back to serve for, I think Conklin's back to serve. You got Kennedy, Seymour at the net. Seberg's done a good job setting them up. Volker, and then also back there is number 6, Kayla Dove. Served by Conklin is up and over. And that's out. That's too bad.
We're tied again.
And that's too bad, because they had a chance here to tip it into space, but they tipped it a little too far out of bounds. I may be thinking that Kennedy was going to go to block that. Sparks puts it up. Conklin's right there, and here they are again. They're going to put it up for Seymour. Seymour brings it down, but Dolezal's there. That's over, but Conklin's right there. Here we go. It's going to be up for Seymour. Seymour gets it over, tipped at the net. And it is over.
Nope.
But they're going to say
it hit the ceiling and went over.
That one was going over regardless. That's too bad because that was a good scramble there by 3 players for LaPorte, all hitting it with one arm. As it's 22-21, back to service Sparks. Big play there by Kennedy.
And the Michigan City coach is saying that she pushed it. She didn't hit it.
Gotcha.
But referees aren't going to call it, so nothing more you can do than just move on.
You got to go. Seymour with the good serve. Shirley gets it over. Great hit into the net. A big hit by Kennedy into the block, and LaPorte takes the lead.
And LaPorte's just 2 points away from a sectional championship.
As we're going to have a switch, Worlds is going to come back in here. 23-22, back to service Seymour again. Hit out of bounds. And after all of that, Michigan City was leading for a while there. It's in LaPorte's favor now, up to Seymour to serve and your best players on the court.
And this could be it right here for
Lorkel will put it up. It's going to be up for Kennedy. Big hit, and that it is.
And the LaPorte Slicers are your sectional champions.
LaPorte wins the first set 25-13, second set 25-9, and the third and final set 25-22 as they brought in their key players and got it done at the end. Isaac, it's been fun. The volleyball season's been fun. LaPorte will win the sectional championship and head on to regionals. Good luck to them as they head on in the state competition as we look forward to them making their way through.
That's right.
I'm sure there's a trophy somewhere.
Oh,
I see it down there. So they're out on the field yelling and screaming. They are very happy now, as they didn't do a lot of that during the game. As LaPorte wins, and they will take on the regionals as they will head out after this sectional championship next week and weekend as they move forward as Michigan City is your sectional runner-up here in Mishawaka. Congratulations to them. A really good tournament for them as they were able to win 2 games and make it to the sectional final. And then we've got our 2019 Mishawaka sectional champions as Conklin takes both the trophy and the ball as they hold it up there. Congratulations to the LaPorte Slicers as they are victorious and will head on to regionals as they'll take some pictures and head on. Well, volleyball season's over. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday at the school board meeting at John Young Middle School. After that, our next sports broadcast is not for 2 weeks, Isaac. 2 weeks from actually 2 weeks from yesterday was Friday, right?
Correct.
2 weeks from yesterday will be November 1st. We'll have varsity football here at Steel Stadium for a second round of sectionals. The Cavemen got a bye as they will take on Elkhart Memorial for a chance to play for another sectional title after making it to semi-state last year. For all the students here at Mishawaka Network, I'm Matt Rendell here with Isaac Hayes. We will be back next Wednesday for a school board meeting. Have a good evening.